Hello, everybody. Welcome to another amazing episode of Youth Connect. I'm Aiden.
Hi, I'm Joshua.
I'm Logan.
I'm Jeffrey.
And welcome to our Youth Connect. I know, guys, it's absolutely fantastic. We have gotten Joshua back live on our show, which is going to be absolutely brilliant. I just cannot wait to hear the animal and good story news he's going to have to share. But mostly, the first important thing that we should always talk about is that what in the world is Youth Connect? Well, Youth Connect is a news, interest, entertainment show that was created during the pandemic for the community, by the community. And I know that everyone here is of all abilities. And you know what? We got bakers. We got some chefs in the room. We've got some artists in the room, some musicians, some people who want to get into broadcasting. We really want to do anything and everything we can. But I know that Youth Connect is going to be a show that is definitely not going to go with the normal norms of a news show, but is going to be going on a little bit of an interesting ride. Now, I will say, I really hope that you like this show. I know you're going to love this show because guess what? The first thing on our news section is that we always have to do our gaming news. Okay, guys, if you know, the first thing we always have to do is our Spotlight Game of the Week. Always so much fun to do that. Now, a Spotlight Game of the Week is either a game that I'm going to be shining the light on, whether it be an old classic, a game that is going to be coming out, or a game that already is out. And today, it is going to be following under the same of a old classic kind of modern version. Actually, I've more follow it under something that's already come out. And today's game is called the Placid Plastic Duck Simulator, or as they call it, PPDS. So what is this? Rubber ducks? That's pretty weird. Well, guess what? This is a relaxing 3D environment where you would get to experience life as a rubber duck. The game is called the Placid Plastic Duck Simulator, and it is an experiment to induce calm and bliss. If you're up for a reinvigorating stay at your favorite seaside pool. Now, don't be scared, guys. You won't be the only rubber duck there because different ducks will slowly and happily fall into the pool with you, each with their own style and demeanor. And basically, you're going to be floating on the water. You're going to sunbathe. You're going to dip your beak, go down the slide. The radio will be playing a nostalgic tune. And maybe there'll be nighttime. You'll be able to look at the stars, turn off the radio, listen to the waves in the dark, and dream. The sun is rising. The sky is blue. Time to slide down to the second pool. An airplane is rushing somewhere, but there's stuff to do. Not for you. Live in the present moment and to enjoy life. Listen, this game is probably very weird. I've been seeing this game everywhere, and everybody keeps telling me that this rubber duck game is absolutely amazing. I don't know why it's so amazing, because if I'm really thinking about it, all it is just a rubber duck simulator, and rubber ducks really don't do too much. But, you know, I think that I'm going to have to check out this game for myself because this game looks absolutely amazing. It's a rubber duck game, and it's definitely a game that I haven't done before and definitely kind of tackles a topic that I don't think I would have ever thought I would be tackling. So again, guys, if you ever have the chance, I recommend checking out the Placid Plastic Duck Simulator. It is a really cool game. But next up, we have Kevin, and he's going to be sharing with us his all-important news and, of course, the very interesting fact of the day.
Hello everyone, welcome to Youth Connect with me, Kevin Aruja. So let's get right into the headlines. Justin Trudeau announced housing accelerator. Major grocery chain apologized after shopper buys mislabeled chicken past its best before date at Toronto store. Groceries to offer discounts, price freezes on food, but champagne offers little detail. And Toronto Blue Jays got eliminated from playoffs. The Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says the federal government has reached an agreement with Vaughan, Ontario to fast-track the building of more than 1,700 new housing units. Trudeau told reporters in Vaughan, Ontario, that the government would also incentivize thousands more homes over the next 3 years. The agreement with Bond has been made under the National Housing Accelerator Fund, a $4 billion program first announced in the spring 2022 federal budget, but for which applications were accepted until July. The federal government says the agreement will provide more than $59 million to Bond to eliminate barriers and building housing. Trudeau said it will allow for high-density development near public transit, prioritize building apartments and affordable housing, and fix outdated permitting systems. He said Bond will also be amending a zoning bylaw to allow up to 4 residential units to be built on one lot. In a letter news conference, Housing Minister Sean Fraser says the city estimates 40,000 new homes could be unlocked over the next 10 years because of the measures that the municipal government is taking to take advantage of the funding. A major grocery chain is apologizing after a Toronto shopper based mislabeled chicken that was already past its best before dates in a now viral thread with over 1,400 votes and nearly 300 comments. A Reddit user shared a picture of the bacon fried chicken medallion they say they purchased from Metro on September 29th. One package was partially unwrapped, revealing the sticker on the plastic layer of the packaging had a best before date of October 9th, 2023, while the inner layer displayed a date of September 30th. The user said they opened the chicken on October 2nd, thinking it was still safe to consume. A spokesperson for the grocery chain confirmed SCT News Toronto the statement that transpired was ultimately a mislabeling error, and that Metro regrets the inconvenience it caused our customer. The grocery chain has also confirmed that an investigation into how this may have happened is ongoing. In Canada, the CFIA said it is illegal for food manufacturers, producers, or retailers to change the best before date if it results in unsafe food or misleading information on the label. Best before dates are used for products with a shelf life of 19 days, which the CFIA says online indicates the freshness, taste, and nutritional value of the item. The industry minister Francois Philippe Champagne said grocers will offer discounts, price freezes, and price matching in an initial step to stabilize grocery prices. But the minister did not provide any other details, including what products to be subject to promotions. Starting soon, Canadians will be able to sell of actions such as discounts across the basket of food products, price freezes, and price matching campaigns. To name a few, Champagne said, adding that he has already started to see some of these promotions being offered. When pressed by reporters on how Canadians will know these promotions are any different than the ones regularly offered by grocers, Champagne said he does not want to disclose what each company has pledged to do. The Liberal government called on Canada's major grocers last month to present a plan to stabilize prices by Thanksgiving or face consequences, including potential tax measures. Champagne said Thursday that the federal government is still ready to act on that threat if grocers did not take sufficient action. Rising grocery prices have been a major pain point for Canadians and tend to disproportionately affect lower-income families who spend more of their income on food. Grocery price inflation has slowed recently to 6.9% in August, but food prices continue to accelerate faster than the rate of overall inflation, which came in at 4% last month. In sports news, the early hook for Jose Berrios will be taking hot talking point with the dust settles on another Blue Jays postseason that ended in a first-round sweep. All the pitching move in the world won't matter if the offense doesn't deliver. The factor in the big base pad blunder and the lack of timely hitting, and it's no surprise Toronto is still looking for its first playoff win since 2016. After a 3-1 in Game 1, the Minnesota Twins completed a 2-game sweep Wednesday by shutting out the Blue Jays 2-0 at Target Field. The Twins, who ended at 18-game playoff losing skid a day earlier, will advance to an AL Division Series against the Houston Astros. The Blue Jays, meanwhile, were left searching for answers after being swept in the first round for the third time in 4 years. The Blue Jays won the World Series the following year and repeated as champions in 1993. In today's weather forecast, we've got mainly sunny this afternoon. The temperature is now 22 degrees. And tomorrow we'll get a mix of sun and clouds. The temperature will be 50 degrees. And now for a new topic for an interesting fact. I'm going to talk about, this maple leaf. This is an icon. This is an iconic picture of the maple leaves. So I'll tell you a story about why maple leaves are so important. Maple trees or maple leaves are trees and shrubs are often planted in parks around and along city streets. They are good shade trees because the leaves form a thick dome. In autumn, the leaves turn spectacular colors such as yellow, pink, orange, scarlet, and deep purple. There are about 200 different species or kind of maple. Throughout much of North America, Europe, and northeastern Asia. Maple range from small shrubs to large trees. They can grow to be more than 130 feet, which is 40 meters tall. Leaves usually have several finger-like sections called lobes. Flowers appear in early spring. They vary from deep red to bluish yellow. Maple also bear papery wings containing seeds. These flutter to the ground, scattering the seeds away from the tree. The seeds can grow into new maples. So I'll give you facts about maple leaves. Maple trees grow in sandy or clayly soil types. If the texture stays loose and the soil depth allows the roots to anchor the tree to the site. The maple tree grows well on favorable sites including swamps, dry sandy ridges, and thin, rocky soil. The comfort maple is an enormous and strangely shaped sugar maple tree, which is believed to be at least 500 years old, the oldest maple tree in Canada. And the last fact was most maples are trees growing to 10 to 45 meters, which is 33 to 148 feet height. Others are shrubs less than 10 meters tall with several small trunks originating at ground level. With that, come to the end of my segment. Tune in for next week's news, weather, and very interesting facts. I'm sending you back to Aiden.
Quite interesting to hear that the maple leaf is not only a main symbol in Canada, but it also is a main symbol sometimes in Japan. But I mean, that kind of makes sense. And I know that the maple leaf in general is a very important sign for Canadian culture. So honestly, thank you so much, Kevin, for your news. Now, I'm going to quickly move on to our second gaming news because this is quite interesting to say the least. And also, I kind of want to keep the train moving because I really, really am excited for not even our new person, but a person coming back that is definitely a fan favorite. But anyways, on to the gaming news. Did you guys know that Cyberpunk 2077, you guys know Cyberpunk, right? They have made a really interesting game, to say the least. It is known for being one of the glitchiest games of the modern era, being even more glitchier than Skyrim, as some people say. And Skyrim has been known to be glitchy on anything it's on. But a live action project, guys, is going to be set in the world of the popular sci-fi video game Cyberpunk 2077. And the video game developer CD Projekt Red is going to be working with some interesting people. So there were very few details revealed about the project, namely whether it's a film or a TV series, but it will be made with anonymous content, the media company behind shows like True Detective and Mr. Robot, and films like The Revenant and Spotlight. I definitely know The Revenant, and I definitely know Mr. Robot. So CD Projekt Red, the developers of Cyberpunk 2077 and the popular Witcher video game series, is working with Anonymous Content Studios head of television Garrett Kemble, director of development Ryan Schwartz, and chief creative officer David Levine on the Cyberpunk 2077 project. The team has already been working to be finding a screenwriter for the brand new story set in the world of Cyberpunk 2077. So there's been not too much, guys. Some interesting factors is that, due to the fact that Cyberpunk 2077 has been doing so well, selling over 25 million copies of the game is quite shocking. And if you guys know, the game is lauded for its massive open world, action-packed gameplay, and complex story, and that changes based on players' choices, like whether they want to complete missions with guns blazing, stealth, or hacking. Now, the game is set in a night city, a futuristic tech hub ruled by mega corporations and robotic enhanced gangs. Ooh, sounds pretty scary to me. I never played Cyberpunk, but I've been hearing that is so huge. And if you guys know, there was actually an anime series released last month called Cyberpunk Edge Runners that was on Netflix, I'm pretty sure. And that really did also really well. But they also released even a DLC called Phantom Liberty, which sold already 3 million copies. Trust you me, guys, it seems like they're getting a lot of money with this game series. So seeing a live action kind of like series, I'm going to say series because we don't know if it's a movie or a series just yet. But whatever it is going to be quite interesting because Cyberpunk has such a unique story and such a unique atmosphere that it's going to definitely put you on your heels. You're going to definitely have to be zooming in and being like, what's going on over here? But this is where the second gaming news ends, and this is where it gets picked up once again because next up we have Joshua. Oh my gosh, with his good story news and of course your very favorite animal news.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Youth Connect. It is great to be back with you all now for the good news story. When Vance Walker was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, doctors told his parents he would have to wear leg braces for the rest of his life and that he would never be an athlete. The 18-year-old who was bullied in school because he has cerebral palsy clearly remembers the first time he saw the show on a competition to test the limits of human physicality airing on the NBC TV. Vance Walker also recalls the painful physical therapy stretches and leg braces he endured as a child after he was diagnosed with cerebral palsy at 18 months old. Vance defied the odds that the doctors gave him when he was just 18 months old and won American Ninja Warrior Season 15. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC), cerebral palsy is a non-curable neurological disease caused by abnormal brain development or damage to developing brain that affects the muscles. When Vance's mom was pregnant, she went into preterm labor at just 17 weeks. She spent months in the hospital and her son was born at 36 weeks. When Vance went to school, bullies made fun of him for his braces or how he walked. Vance would walk around the track at his school alone while other children were in groups with their friends at lunchtime and he ate alone. Vance credits his parents' support and encouragement. During the difficult times, watching their son compete on American Ninja Warrior would have felt like an impossibility to his parents, Kent and Stacey. Watching their son, however, felt like it was meant to be, especially for the kid who kept defying the odds. Vance and his parents are grateful for the community of friends American Ninja Warrior has created for Vance. Without the support of the ninja community, he definitely wouldn't be where he is today, Ken says. Walker plans to keep returning to American Ninja Warrior as long as the show lets him. I'm going to keep working, he says. I'm going to keep trying to be one of the best, and I know that I can win it a couple more times if I have enough chances. Now for another good news story. A Kansas man celebrated his 50th wedding anniversary by surprising his wife with more than 1 million sunflowers. In May, working with his son, Lee Wilson secretly planted 80 acres of sunflowers, around 1.2 million plants, in preparation for the anniversary on the 10th of August. Speaking to Cake TV, an ABC affiliate TV station in Wichita, Kansas, Wilson said, "What does a guy get his gal for the 50th anniversary? And I put a lot of thought into it, and she always liked sunflowers. And I thought this is a year to plant sunflowers, so I planted her 80 acres of sunflowers." King TV said each acre contained approximately 15,000 sunflowers, totaling about 1.2 million. "It made me feel very special," Renee Wilson said. "It couldn't have been more perfect anniversary gift than a field of sunflowers." The couple met in high school. Lee Wilson said she could not date until she was 16, and I called her on her 16th birthday, and that's when we started dating. Our first date was roller skating party. He knew his wife was the one, and he said after that first date, the sunflower which happen to be the Kansas state flower, are located off the south side of Highway 54, that is 4 miles south outside of Pratt, Kansas. People came from miles around to take pictures and experience the flowers in bloom. Wilson's anniversary surprise drew plenty of comments online. One user tweeted that for other spouses approaching a significant anniversary, the bar has been raised. Lee said he would not be making the sunflowers an annual anniversary gift. It's been fun, but I think one time is enough for us. He told Cake TV it's somebody else's turn next year. Now turning to animal interest news. Bird watchers, also called birders, now have a rare opportunity along the East Coast. Hurricane Idalia may have diverted dozens of flamingos from a path between Cuba and Mexico. They are turning up along a mid-Atlantic states like North Carolina, Virginia, Pennsylvania, and even Ohio, with 150 sightings already logged in birding apps. The Washington Post spoke with Audubon Society of Alabama, another state where the flamingos are being seen, and they say this may be a once-in-a-century level event. To my knowledge, which goes back like 50 years, never anything as spectacular as this has occurred, and said Executive Director Scott Duncan. This jaw-dropping how many flamingos have been seen. Flamingos in the wild of the U.S. occur rarely in Florida. The Chesapeake Bay magazine reporting on the phenomenon wrote that the last confirmed sighting was in 1972. However, late last week, a pair of flamingos was found in pond in Franklin County, Pennsylvania. They wrote, Franklin County is a part of the geographically larger Chesapeake Bay watershed. These are the first confirmed wild flamingos ever seen in the Commonwealth. It's believed that the bird's inner thermostat will begin to coax them back to their tropical homeland as summer nights gradually give way to autumn, meaning the chances for once in a big year sighting is for a limited time only. This is Josh Show reporting for Youth Connect. That's it for me now. I'll send it back to you, Aiden.
I think I'm going to be taking the first news because it's always the most amazing one, to be honest, in my honest opinion. Imagine, guys, because a lot of people say that cerebral palsy, as you know, is something that it basically stuns the body, and it basically allows them, or it's a neurological disability that kind of limits the way you can move your body. It doesn't fully paralyze you, but in some cases it does. But cerebral palsy is definitely very hard, especially at 11 months from what I heard. So hearing that he won the American Ninja Warrior means that he pushed his body above and beyond and continued to go on to later seasons. That is a lot of dedication. Imagine he had to work every single day to stop his cerebral palsy. You know what? I won't say it's a mindset because sometimes it is, but I'm just going to say absolutely amazing. I'm going to give a round of applause for Vance Walker. Amazing, amazing person. Now, I will ask for you, Logan, and for you, Jeff, what did you guys think of Joshua's news? Because I thought it was quite amazing.
I thought it was quite amazing, too. I love the flamingos. They were cute.
Absolutely. I mean, Hurricane Idalia is definitely very scary, but you know what? In the end of it all, the hurricane does bring some interesting and cool things to see. Like, for example, this rare family or rare group of flamingos. Mm-hmm. Truly amazing. What did you think, Logan?
Yeah, the cerebral palsy story. Very, very inspiring story.
I absolutely agree with that, and I will take the second story because it's very important to remind us that, guys, this Kansas farmer, listen, 50 sunflowers could have been enough, but he went for 1.2 million sunflowers. That is incredible. That is incredible, and really shows the love and dedication he has for his wife. That is so beautiful. Thank you so much, Joshua. And next, we can go on to our final video gaming news. And today is our board game of the week. Actually, let me think about it for a second. I'll do it. Today's board game of the week is similar to video game of the week, but obviously, as you can tell by the name, it's a board game. And today's board game of the week is called Septima. Septima. Only in a few corners of the world is the memory of magic still alive, even though a few centuries ago its healing power permeated everything. Witches, its last remaining practitioners, have always been outcasts and could help human society only in strict secrecy. The leader of their people, the Septima, have always been the wisest, most knowledgeable witch. Now, as her time is coming to an end, witches all over the world gather at Noctenburg to leave their mark on the hostile town and to prove to the Septima that they are her worthy successor. So guys, Septima, obviously, as you can hear, is a very competitive, highly interactive strategy game of witchcraft. Now, you won't be doing actual witchcraft, but you can do it in the game. As the leader of your coven, you must prove your worth in the town of Noctenburg to become the successor of Septima, the High Witch. You must practice your craft and gain wisdom by collecting herbs, brewing potions, healing the townsfolk, mastering charms, and rescuing your fellow brothers and sisters from the trials. But beware! Magic, even used for good, invokes suspicion in the townfolk. So basically, you're going to be doing multiple different things. You're going to be building your coven. You're going to be collecting, moving, brewing, healing, recruiting, pleading, chanting, writing, and remembering. That is quite a bit of stuff. But basically, this game is going to take you less than 2 hours, which I hope a board game doesn't take you more than 2 hours. But basically, at the end of the game, if your coven wins, then you are titled Septima, the High Witch. So you basically want to win and you want to beat your other competitors. So you're going to have to take resources for your own and beat them. Now, I don't know about you, but this game sounds very familiar. And that's because it was made by Mind Clash Games, who made another game that I've talked about on our board game of the week. So that is always awesome to see. And you know what? I always like how they tackle the witchcraft mind point of things, because you know what? It definitely is something that a lot of people kind of steer away from. But honestly, you should really check it out because it's really cool. It gave birth to some really interesting things. Like, for example, Eldritch Horrors came from witchcraft in that same genre of what's the word called? I don't know what it's called, but I remember it's Eldritch something. So I recommend that you check out the board game called Septima. And next up, we have Logan, and he is going to share his cooking knowledge that he learned.
Hello, Youth Connect. I am Logan, and today I'm going to be talking about a relevant subject that I learned about today, this week at Humber. I'll be talking about the differences between whole wheat and white grain foods. So, I'm sure you guys all love your bread, all love your cereal, your pancakes, your pasta, but I'm sure at some point someone tried to tell you, you should try this as a whole grain. You'll be much healthier for you. Well, they're right, and I'm about to show you exactly how. So first off, I'm going to pull up this little diagram here of this is a grain, specifically a wheat grain. And so what most farms usually do is they'll harvest these from the wheat and they will grind them into a very fine powder we all know as flour. That flour is used for a bunch of different things. For, as I mentioned before, your bread, your pancakes, your pasta, your cakes, a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of grain products that we all like. And so I'm going to delve a little deeper into this diagram and teach you about the 3 parts to a whole grain. So the first part that I'll talk about is this part, the bran, as it's called. It is the hard outer shell of a grain, and it is used to protect the insides of the grain from moisture while it's still growing. It is full of vitamin B, and it's a very, very excellent source of fiber. And so the next part I want to talk about is this little part at the very bottom. This is the germ. You could probably think of the germ as like the embryo for the grain. It's where like the wheat plant sprouts from when you put it in the ground. And it contains a ton of different vitamins and minerals. And so the final part of the whole grain, the one that composes most of it, is this part here. This is the endosperm, and it's basically where we get our like white grain foods, like our Wonder Breads or white flours. Is the most abundant part of the grain, but it's also by far the least nutritious part. Doesn't have a whole lot of nutritional value compared to the other parts, the bran and the germ. And so what's the most different part about whole wheat foods compared to white grain products is that they use the entire grain, every part of it, the germ, the endosperm, and the bran. Whereas white grain products only use the endosperm. They separate out the germ and the bran. And so this makes white grain products so much less nutritious than whole wheat products because you're losing out on all that fiber, all those vitamins, all of those minerals get left out. So that basically summarizes why whole grain is a lot better than white grain products. And so I'll just leave you all with a few suggestions on how you can introduce more whole grains into your diet. One of the things you could do is whenever you're shopping, you can just, whenever you're going by like your usual bread or pasta aisle, you can just take the conscious choice to, instead of going for the typical big company white grain product, go for like the whole wheat version. And when baking, you could try using whole wheat flour instead of all-purpose flour, which is whole wheat flour basically has all three parts. As I said before, white flour only has the less nutritious endosperm. Another thing you can do when baking is try adding whole grains to your bread foods. So say, for example, you don't want to use whole wheat flour, well then you can add little bits of whole grains to your baked goods. You can actually buy the individual bran and germs, and you can introduce them to your baked goods to make them a lot more nutritious. So anyway, that's all I have to say about what I learned this week about whole wheat and white grains. And so back to you, Aiden.
I was looking at it myself, guys, and I think that Logan is absolutely correct. The factor between white grain and whole grain is quite literally with the refined white grain, everything is stripped off. Its entire germ, its bran, that's what whole grain's all about. Its main focus is that bran. So without the bran, there's no B vitamins. And honestly, I still will choose white bread. Listen, I like white bread. It's delicious. But guys, if you really want to have a heartier bread, Logan says, go for the whole grain or whole wheat brand because that takes the entirety of the whole wheat plant rather than just the grain that's been refined and washed and everything. Honestly, good knowledge, guys. Now you can know when you're making a dish. If you want it to be a bit more heartier, you can use a whole grain. But if you're making a bread that you think that, you know what, people aren't really big fans of grain, you can do a whole white wheat brand, or sorry, refined grain. Thank you so much, Logan. It's always great to learn some cooking knowledge or just in general, some knowledge about food in general. But guys, we always have to do our final thing. And if you guys can remember, who is it? I know who it is. Next up, we have Jeffrey with his live music.
Hi, everybody. Hope you're ready to hear some music, have some joy, have some fun. I'm going to be playing one of my original songs called A Bird Like Me Knows What It's Like to Be Loved. It's very sweet, very positive. I also want to dedicate this song to my grandma who sadly passed away. So, sending out lots of love, and this song goes out to her. To love, to protect and free, to cover and safety, This happiness feels like in my head. Between the morning to announce a new day, telling the world to get up, get outside and play. To be loved, protect and faith, to have comfort and safety. This is what happiness feels like in my head. My flight is carefree, so it's okay. Color feathers like a rainbow parade, lifting people's sadness, spirits with the song, telling the world that we all belong. To be loved, protect and faith, to have comfort and safety. This is what happiness feels like in my head. Everything crashed in the sky, knowing when I once in a while. My love is all around for you. Remember to care, my family love is everywhere. A bird like me knows what's meant to be loved, to protect and faith, to come and safety. This is what happiness feels like in my head. To be loved, protect and faith, to have comfort and safety. This is where happiness feels like in my head. Between the morning to announce a new day, telling the world to get up, get outside and play. To be loved, to protect and faith, to have comfort and safety. This what happiness feels like in my head. My flight is carefree, my soul is okay. Color feathers like a rainbow parade, lifting people's sadness, spirits with the song, telling the world that we all belong. To be loved, to protect and faith, to have comfort and safety. This happiness feels like in my head. Everything bursts in the sky, knowing very once in a while. My love is all around for you. My love is all for you. A bird like me, know it's like to be loved, to protect and faith, to have comfort and safety. This happiness feels like in my head. To be loved, to protect and faith, to have comfort and safety. This happiness feels like in my head. Thank you, everybody. This is Jeffrey, your live musician. Make sure to check out my website, jeffreyankerman.com, and I'll see you all next week. Back to you, Aiden. Bye, everyone.
As per usual, we always get to hear some amazing music by Jeff. It makes me shed a tear because honestly, every single time he sings, his music is always bringing joy. And I really hope that you really had some joy brought to you when you listened to Jeffrey's music. Again, I will repeat Jeffrey's message. If you can, please check out Jeffrey's website, which is jeffreyankerman.com. Now, on the side of that, guess what? We had a lot of fun. We learned about a lot of stuff. And you know what? We came as a community and we kind of, had a lot. We had fun. That's the most important thing. My brain always repeats itself over and over again. But honestly, guys, I want you to do this for me. If you did like Youth Connect, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Okay, here goes my
Don't
line.
forget to click the notification bell.
No, Jeffrey, that was my line.
Jeffrey stole it. Oh my gosh.
Huh?
I will thank my other co-hosts. So thank you, Joshua. Thank you so much, Logan. Thank you so much, Jeff. And of course, thank you, Kevin from afar. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. And you know what? I will say this just before we go. I just want you guys to know Thanksgiving is coming up. So I really hope that you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Remember, Thanksgiving is all about family. So come together, enjoy food together, and come together as a family or as a community. Other than that, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your long weekend because it is Thanksgiving. And we will see you all next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.